can you walk me through the weeding process? What's that actually going to look like?
I can. So first of all, I want to acknowledge the fact that yes, I am not a librarian per se. I have had campus experience and have interacted with librarians and very much value the work that they do. We've really leaned into the professional knowledge of our librarians. And so the weeding process is not anything new for our librarians. That is a process that occurs year round in every library, whether it's a public library, whether it's a school library, because the purpose is to keep the collection up to date and relevant. And so the librarians use an acronym called MUSTIE. And MUSTIE stands for, and I just want to make sure I get my words right. First of all, the M stands for a book that might have misleading information. It's out of date. It's irrelevant. The U stands for ugly. It's worn, it's tattered, it's mildew. The S stands for superseded, which means that it may have been replaced by a newer title. So we want to move that book out and bring in the newer title. The T stands for trivial if the material is not well written. The I stands for irrelevant. The material does not fit the needs or the interest of the students. So perhaps it is a series that was popular, many years ago. We move that on out. And so elsewhere. And
you don't have Sweet Valley High in the library anymore?
I can't confirm or deny at this moment. The E stands for elsewhere obtainable, which means that some information, some books may be available elsewhere. And so the librarians weed on an ongoing basis. According to board policy, they are expected to have a weeding schedule, which they do, and I believe it goes to like 2029. And so they weed sections of books during certain years. And they look at certain elements of those books along the lines of MUSTIE. And then the layer that has been added on is the implementation of the board policy. Our librarians chose to work in teams for this particular first round of weeding to ensure consistency of implementation with the board policy. So using their professional judgment collectively as they began looking at a particular section of our library.
Okay, so if this process has been going on this entire time anyway, how much more time is going to be spent on this?
Well, so this is so again, they weed as they can. So it's not a shut down the library thing in the sense of all year long they shut down the library and they weed. Right now, we're in the process of they're working collectively because they wanted to make sure there was consistent implementation, that they were applying MUSTIE to all this particular genre of books. And so they are working collectively right now, but weeding goes on year round. And so they do it as they have time in the library. They pull that shelf list, and then they begin going through each one of those books, applying the MUSTIE criteria in the past, and now the MUSTIE criteria with the implementation of the board policy.